Well, folks, Nancy Pelosi is making headlines today for quite a few reasons. First of all, a North Carolina man who came to Washington armed with guns and threatening to shoot House Speaker Nancy Pelosi the day after January 6th was sentenced to more than 2 years in prison, according to the USA Today. But, folks, we have to talk about what Nancy Pelosi just said to reporters and then some of her juicy trading, folks. We gotta learn about that juicy trading. Let's figure out exactly what's going on. First things first, we've got Nancy Pelosi being asked by reporters whether or not lawmakers and their spouses should be banned from owning shares of companies. Nancy Pelosi responded with a clear no, and that we're in a free market economy. She said that lawmakers should be able to participate. Now, I've regularly made the argument that even though Nancy Pelosi has a $100 million net worth and she trades like crazy, we're going to go through a couple trades of these in just a moment, well, at least her spouse does. Even though all of this is going on, I have made the argument in the past that, in my opinion, the big issue with politicians trading is that they can have 45 to 90 days without disclosing their trades. That's crazy, okay? There should be 100% and immediate transparency. I mean, like, you put the trade in and you put a little notification up or whatever. It should be immediate. Or maybe as soon as any lawmaker makes a trade, it's just like publicly, boom, it's available. Or maybe we could use blockchain settlement and track the trades of lawmakers. That would be freaking amazing, right? But that's not what we have. We have 45 to 90 day disclosure lag times, which is pretty messed up. Nancy Pelosi suggests that, quote, we're in a free market economy, they should be able to participate, but is still shielded by these ridiculous disclosure laws that allow lawmakers to hide and conceal their trades for quite a while. Now, this isn't a surprise considering both Nancy Pelosi and her husband have a history of investing. She bought Tesla and Tesla calls, and then all of a sudden laws were passed that were really pro-electric vehicles. The week before, the House voted on a big tech antitrust law. Guess what, folks? Nancy Pelosi's husband made a trade that later profited $5.4 million. The trade was 40 call options on Alphabet with a strike price of $1,200. These were purchased on June 18th, just before the House subcommittee convened. He had the right to convert, essentially, these 40 call options into 4,000 shares of Alphabet at a price of $1,200 each. When exercised, Alphabet was trading at $2,550, making him $5.4 million. If you take her minimum net worth from the financial disclosures, it appears that it's about $65 million, though we do expect it's closer to $100 million. She, for example, has between $1 to $5 million in Google stock, $5 to $25 in Amazon, $5 to $25 in Apple, and that's million, and dozens more of individual holdings, a lot of big tech here. Also, recently there have been a lot of tweets and posts circulating on social media claiming that Nancy Pelosi had bought a $25 million mansion. As far as we can tell, this is not true. USA Today reports this is not true. Pelosi's spokesperson says that this is completely false, that there is no pending sale, nor is their family looking or even interested in the property. And a representative of the actual home buyer, a local resident in Florida, says there's zero association between the seller of the home and the buyer of the home and Nancy Pelosi. It's also worth noting another thing that's kind of been a little dramatic lately is that there's this tracker, or at least there used to be. It's called the Nancy Tracker. And at Nancy Tracker was apparently suspended. Now, we don't know exactly why it was banned or suspended on Twitter. We just know that it was suspended. We know that Twitter has a history of censoring people they are not political fans of. I just got denied, just for example, my fourth or fifth verification, I can't even remember, on Twitter. This all my denials really started after I started running against their puppet for governor, Gavin Newsom. But that aside, folks are suspecting that maybe the Nancy Tracker was, either out of line with some recent political commentary, or that they were banned just to censor Nancy Pelosi's trades. Either way, all we know is that Nancy Tracker got banned by Twitter, and we don't know why. We do also know, again, that Nancy Pelosi did apparently not buy a property in Florida, but she's really good at trading right before news happens. And she doesn't have to disclose that for 45 to 90 days, which is crazy. But anyway, that gives you a little bit of insight into the world of Nancy Pelosi and what's had her in the news and trending, especially today. Keep in mind that a lot of individual investors who want to invest in startup companies cannot invest unless they are accredited investors, which means they have a minimum net worth upwards of a certain amount. They have to have a certain income, which makes it very difficult for a lot of folks to actually invest in startup companies. This is one of the freeing things about blockchain and crypto, is that you could essentially invest in any kind of startup through cryptocurrencies. And that's been something that's very freeing and is a much more, quote, free market economy, which Nancy Pelosi alludes to. Worth considering. Anyway, that gives you the update and latest on Nancy Pelosi. Hopefully we get that instant disclosure soon, and maybe some blockchain settlement. Anyway, thanks for watching this one. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.